The Ford government has reached a new trade and energy agreement with the province of Alberta, the sixth deal Ontario has signed to boost interprovincial trade, and the new deal could have a positive impact on the province's energy sector. Joining us now to talk more about the deal is Stephen Lecce, Ontario's Minister of Energy and Mines, joining us from Calgary. Thanks so much for being with us today on a day like this. I want to start with what this agreement means for Ontarians and how soon are you expecting work to get underway, including on that feasibility study?
You know, today was a landmark day in Canadian history when it comes to unifying around a common vision that we want to be energy independent. We want to stop buying and depending on America. And I am very proud as a Canadian first, before even my association as a PC, just to be in the room, being a part of the negotiation to sign a deal that actually puts in place a real credible plan to build the energy infrastructure that creates jobs, prosperity, and ultimately sets our kids up and the next generation up for success. And I think it is a massive achievement that Premier Ford, Premier Smith, and our governments have come together, part of this nation building idea of ending the landlocking of our resources. Because today, much of our resources, particularly petroleum and natural gas, is being sold to one customer. And that is a competitive disadvantage. We're leaving $20+ billion on the table for the people of Canada. And Ontario has tons to gain. We are the leader in nuclear. We are the leader in small modular reactors. We are the leader in critical minerals. This energy infrastructure program, East and West, allows us to harness our potential as a country and really become the energy superpower vision we have. And so the pipeline that was announced today, part of this vision, the actual pipe is going to be built by the hands of Ontario workers. The port in James Bay that we are proposing will be built by Canadian workers to help move Western resources and critical minerals in Northern Ontario to the world.
Is there a timeline for that, of when that will happen?
So the corridor study will commence immediately. Because we really want to get on with moving this project forward. I think the most important thing we can do is work with local communities and all the provinces east, west of us, from Alberta in between. And as you know, Ontario and Alberta have strong agreements already in place with Saskatchewan and Manitoba to unlock free trade. One Canadian economy to stand up to President Trump, because today we are dependent on him. We have a pipeline called Line 5 that connects Western resources with the Ontario market. All of us, when we fill up our gas, depend on this line, natural gas for our homes. All 2/3 of Ontarians depend on this pipeline. And the governor of Michigan has been trying to shut down this pipeline for the last decade. And the president of the United States can do that through executive order. We cannot allow ourselves to be dependent on this man or on any other nation. I think Canadians have been awoken by this concept of self-reliance. And it's powerful that our premiers, different regions, one vision. Let's build one strong Canadian economy where we're never beholden to this man. We're always self-sufficient, self-reliant, using the best and most ethically sourced resources on Earth.
And Minister, let me ask you, with today's announcement, will Ontario be using the gas and oil being shipped through pipelines, or is it simply to produce steel for the projects, as you say, to stimulate the province's economy?
No, we do believe that there's value add in taking Western crude or natural gas, bring it into Ontario for the consumer market. I mean, right now we're dependent on Venezuela, Russia, and obviously the United States. And you know, none of us want to be dependent on some of these authoritarian regimes or on President Trump in this moment. So yes, we think this is an energy affordability solution. It's an energy security solution because we're never dependent on America or anyone else. And I think what really speaks volumes to me is the tens of thousands of skilled workers that will be employed. Look at the challenges Canada's unemployment rate is facing, given the tariffs, the Trump tariffs. We need an industrial policy that lifts all of us up, that gives hope to families. And if you've got skills, we're going to put you to work. And we just announced the largest economic and jobs program probably in my lifetime, of building a program that could add hundreds of billions of dollars to Canada's GDP. Massive. I mean, every family benefits when there's more revenue in the government coffers to invest in education and infrastructure, in the vital services that I know we care about as Canadians.
So how fast will sorry to cut you off, I really want to get this question in, because It seems like Donald Trump's tariffs are really imminent. It's hard to say what's going to happen in an hour, even later today, let alone in the near future here. There's a lot of uncertainty. So at what point will Ontarians benefit from these deals that the province is striking with other provinces?
Well, the first principle is on small modular reactors. Part of this agreement allows us to export these around the country, and Alberta is one of our partners. So we're going to help build SMRs for Alberta, for Saskatchewan, for New Brunswick. These small modular reactors, miniature nuclear generating stations, we're building the first in the G7 right here in Ontario. We're very proud to be leading the world. So right away, there's thousands of jobs, 20,000 in construction just through that SMR project. And we now have Alberta fully on board to build SMRs for their own economy. This is the vision of Western resources, Eastern technology ingenuity coming together to build one country. And so the goal is to move with speed, do it, responsibly. But in this moment, we got to move quick. And that's why we're working, and we've been signaling to the federal government, we want them to be partners too, because we're going to need them in order to get this nation building. And the large part of the challenge we face is some of the federal government policies that can slow it down. And they're sending signals they're willing to work with the provinces to move it up, to speed it up. That's a good sign for Canada. So look, I'm a Canadian, and I see the challenges facing our economy today, but I have hope that our governments are coming together, different parties, but one sort of vision, strong economic leadership in the world that's going to keep our people employed and frankly protect us from any of the risks and inoculate us from the shocks coming from President Trump and beyond.
Okay.
So it's a good day for Canada.
We'll leave it there. Stephen Lecce, Ontario's Minister of Energy and Mines, joining us from Calgary. Minister, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.